back with the lads shortly. But first, we'll have to look forward to extra time. Inevitable, would you say?
Yeah, not necessarily. I think when Switzerland got that equalising goal, Tony, I feared for Argentina because they were really struggling up until that point. I think this Swiss found an extra gear second half, a bit of confidence, and it felt as if the goal was coming. And after the goal, you felt there was an opportunity for them to continue and go and win this game. But again, the game turned on that sending off from Embolo. A real act of stupidity from the Swiss centre forward, rightly getting himself sent off. And because of that, the pendulum again has probably swung in Argentina's favour.
He only had himself to blame, Embolo, though, really. I mean, why did he do that?
Yeah, look, it's simulation, isn't it, Tony? He's trying to win the free kick. That was the yellow card in the first half, which is probably a little bit more debatable. And Paredes comes through the back of him, momentum, picks up the yellow card, and then...
that was the yellow as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably more debatable than the second yellow, in my opinion, yeah, but it is a yellow card, and then the second one then is for the simulation as well, and it looks like he comes across the back and he stops and he just jumps and kicks into the Argentinian player, and I think it's a yellow card, and I actually like this rule that it's been reviewed and overturned for.
If the referee, though, hadn't given Paredes a yellow card, he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to review it, and then it's still a free kick. But yeah, so Paredes could have been in trouble going later on into the match carrying a yellow card as well, and I think this probably puts out people trying to buy free kicks.
Well, now that Switzerland are down to 10 for the extra time, you'd imagine that puts the emphasis back on Argentina to go and win it.
Yeah, it does, and they've huffed and puffed. They've really disappointed me this evening, Argentina, in all facets of the game, to be honest with you. But naturally, they've pushed Switzerland back, and they've created a couple of opportunities in the last portion of the game. Messi's become a little bit more prominent, looking to weave his magic in and around the penalty box, and they have another 30 minutes now to put this game away, Argentina. But don't rule out the Swiss. We spoke about them, Tony, being battle-hardened, being experienced. They're not going to give this one up, and if it means taking it to penalties, they'll do it. Just need that little bit of inspiration. A lot of conversation about Messi before the game, and I think those Argentinian players now are looking to their captain to find that moment of inspiration that will take him over the finishing line and into a semi-final appearance against England.
Yeah, because maybe not his greatest game tonight, and yet that corner kick that led to the Argentinian lead goal, that meant that Messi has more assists now than any other player in World Cup history.
Yeah, but he needs help. He needs more help. That hasn't been good enough for the people around him. Spoke about the players, the high-profile players. Enzo Fernandez, £105 million player. McAllister, Paredes, these wonderful footballers. But they haven't influenced the game. You know, they're leaving it to him. They're leaving it to him to turn this game around. He needs a bit of help, Messi. I have a little bit of sympathy for him. Yeah, Messi is there. He's the hero of the whole Argentinian nation. But he needs help now from those players around him. They have to step up. I don't point the finger at Messi at this particular moment in the game. I point the finger at him, that particular fella who's been taken off, and the players that he has around him. He needs more help, Messi, to get him into the right areas, maybe to turn this game in Argentina's favour.
OK. We don't want penalties, do we? Anya?
No, I don't think so. I think Argentina will be disappointed if it went to penalties at this stage. Obviously, playing against 10 players for the latter half of the second half and going into extra time. But for me, like throughout the whole game, they're lacking urgency. I think they probably need to risk the ball more, get it wide, get it into the box, and attack the second balls.
And of course, Messi has missed half of his total of World Cup penalties. He's missed 4 out of 8. And because I'm a Messi fan, I wouldn't like to see his reputation besmirched any further.
No, but he can't take a penalties now, Tony. There's 15 minutes left. He's got a man advantage. He's got to try and take advantage of it. Anya suggested they've got to mix up the game a little bit. It's too slow. Get the ball into wide areas, cross into the box. Tony, you haven't got a huge amount of height in the box. Where are they going to get the height from? Who's the best head of the ball? Christian Romero. Stood in the halfway line marking nobody. Get him in the box. Why not? for the last kind of 15 minutes. Throw a few balls into the box. He'll win a few headers. You might win a few second balls. Got to think out of the box a little bit, Scalini, for the last 15 minutes of this game, because Argentina deserve nothing more at the moment than penalties. It's been a really limp performance from them. Need to find a little bit of urgency, a little bit of inspiration in this last 15 minutes of the game.
Do you think, Anya, they would have looked at all these sort of scenarios and how to deal with a situation if we've got a man up or if we have a man down? Are all these things probably worked out in advance in terms of the coaching side?
I think so, but your game plan should never really change. The intent from Argentina was always going to be to control possession, speed up the play in the final third, which they haven't been able to do throughout the game tonight. I think they've lacked urgency, and now they're looking to outplay Switzerland, but they're very good in that low defensive block, trying to block them central areas. So they just have to think of plan B, get it wide, get the ball in the box. So they clearly haven't worked on plan B, like Kenny's suggesting, getting Romero up front.
Yeah, well, we look forward to the next 15 minutes and probably more after that as well. And as I say, hopefully it doesn't end up in penalties, although that might keep us awake, might give us a little bright spark.
Ordered a 3 Irish breakfast, waiting for penalties.
You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave RTE.
No black pudding for me. No black pudding, Tony. Not a fan.
Is Romero coming off? He is. So that's your plan B.
What do I know?
The Swanee.
What do I know?
Yeah. It's to Carl Milani and Keith Tracy on commentary there. Good job, lads. And so the road to New York, New Jersey, much clearer now. The semi-finals will be France against Spain in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday. And in Atlanta, Georgia, it's England versus Argentina. And I think that's the semi-final lineup that a lot of people were hoping for. Pardon my Swiss friends. They found a way, Anya. They found a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dembolo, red card, obviously had a big impact on the game. The momentum switched. Argentina were up against 10 men. And then they just took control of the game. They were playing in the right half of the pitch, tried to outplay them, and then Alvarez goal. It's that moment we were waiting for. Someone stepped up, the quality of the goal, the significance of the goal. We could probably argue that it's goal of the tournament so far. And then Martinez obviously comes up and seals the deal to make it 3-1, 2 goals in extra time. And I think it's what Argentina deserve in the end. I think Switzerland put in a good performance, probably lacked a bit of quality in the final third, but when you're playing with 10 players, fatigue sets in, didn't close down at the edge of the box, and they got punished for it.
And Kenny, did you get from Argentina what you were hoping for, that other players apart from Messi stepped up and did what they had to do, get them over the line?
Yeah, just as well, Alvarez did step up with that moment of quality, Tony, because nobody else looked likely to do so. That, for me, was a miserable Argentina performance this evening. They say you should enjoy the moment, and I'm sure those Argentina players will. You just seen them there, a couple of players celebrating. I'm sure their supporters will, and they should enjoy the moment, because this is as good as it's going to get for this Argentina team. They're not going to go any further. You spoke about this, the England-Argentina game is the game everybody wanted. It's the game England want. I'll tell you that now. Because this English team, I think, are going to run all over that Argentina team and could actually embarrass them. So you're actually right in terms of when you say they showed a bit of spirit again in terms of turning this game around. Keith mentioned in COCOM it wasn't vintage Argentina, but it certainly wasn't vintage against Egypt, and it wasn't vintage against Cape Verde. And that's the big worry. This Argentina team are going into a semi-final against England, no real form behind them, and that's the big worry. So enjoy the moment, but it's not going to get any better than this.
It seemed to me that the reaction after the Egypt game was more emotional. I mean, Messi was in tears at that point, and it looked like it brought them through the emotional ringer more so than they did tonight. Yeah,
it's probably in the way they won the game against Egypt. Obviously, they went down 2 goals, came back in normal time, came back to 3-2, and just the emotion. Obviously, Messi got the goal, led the way, got the assist, and a late winner in added time as well. So that was probably a really big performance. And now I look at it as well, they went to extra time against Cape Verde, extra time tonight. Didn't look very energetic throughout the whole performance. And going into the England game, that could go against them.
they're energetic enough to be jumping up and down and saluting their
Maybe
fans.
they should save their energy.
Yeah, they got big problems, Tony, in that semi-final game. You think of that England midfield, the kind of power, the running power they have in there, in terms of Bellingham, Declan Rice, potentially Elliot Anderson. I just don't know how they're going to cope with it.
I mean, it's another issue. We might have time to talk about it a bit later, but Thomas Tuchel doesn't think England are very good or played very well tonight.
England are not going to have to be at their best to beat this Argentina team, and that's the worry. There's more to come from this England team, and if they can tap into that, I just don't see how Argentina can deal with them. Look, I don't blame the players here. They're in a World Cup semi-final, and I can understand their emotion there. But if I'm Scaloni on the touchline there, I'm in a deep depression at the moment, and he's got some job on to come up with some tactical plan to deal with the English threat in a couple of days, because I haven't got one. Well,
it's interesting, isn't it, that the top 4 ranked teams in the world are the last 4 left in this 2026 World Cup. And there they are, the defending champions are still in the competition and they're enjoying their moment. Kansas City has been good to Argentina, and they travel on now for the semi-final against England, and that's on Wednesday. Well, did the game live up to its billing, do you think?
What was the billing? Was that far ago? I can't remember. I think, well, certainly from an Argentinian point of view before the game, I was hoping for more of a positive attacking play from the Argentinians. They have got some very good technical players within the team. You look at that kind of midfield. I mentioned the fact they've got no defender in there, Tony. They've got some very good technicians. Fernandes in there, McAllister in particular. Obviously, Alvarez up front, huge price tag on his head. But it just never functioned. Never functioned. Even after they got the opening goal, you just thought maybe that you might breathe a little bit of confidence in them. It didn't, Tony. They took a backward step. They were very unsure of themselves. It was such a disappointing performance. And they never really snapped out of it. They allowed Switzerland back into the game. They weren't fortunate in terms of the red card. It was deserved red card, but it came at the right moment for Argentina because they were on the back foot.
Let's talk about that equalising goal from Switzerland. They deserved to come back into the game, didn't they?
Yeah, Argentina invited a lot of pressure going into the second half, and it's just out wide, and Endoy combines with Rodriguez. Really good little 1-2. And this was the only little bit of spark and good end product, and he curls it into the bottom corner. He actually had 2 options here. You could probably question the goalkeeper, but Embolo was making a good run into the box as well, and he easily could have squared it, but he takes the option, gets it onto his right foot and into the bottom corner, and I think it's what they deserved at that moment in the game. Momentum was completely with them, and this was the first time they created a really good chance. And
those ones often go through the legs of the keepers, though, don't they?
Yeah, he got in some good positions in the first half, Tony, and dying around the box. He picked the wrong option. Spoken about that clinical edge. He didn't have it. But I thought he took the hardest option there. If he squared that ball across the 6-yard box, and Bowler's got himself a little bit of a tap in. But that was the one moment of quality. We didn't see that from the Swiss in the first half, and they were right back in the game at that moment.
Would it be fair to say that the red card changed the course of this game?
Yeah, I think that's fair comment. We'll never know, of course, what would have happened if he'd stayed on the pitch, but you felt they were certainly in the driving seat. And what's going through his head here? Probably the answer is nothing. He's not thinking. We talk a lot about players in terms of technical ability and athletic ability, but game intelligence is part of it as well.
What's going through his head there is that he decided to cheat to gain an advantage in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the wrong decision because VAR is in the game, isn't it? They look at every single instance. So he's not thinking, Tony. And that's an attribute as much as anything else. He hasn't got that kind of game intelligence. Yeah, he's made a huge mistake there, and it's cost his team.
It's not the first time either. During USA and Paraguay, Tim Ream was yellow carded, but that was rescinded as Miguel Almiron was clearly involved in simulation there. So Almiron then received a yellow card following a VAR review. So the VAR is now doing this. It's another kind of addition to the game. And if it takes the cheats out of the game, it's got to be a good thing, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is actually one of the good positives VAR can bring as well. I think Embolo clearly went to win a free kick for his team, simulation, and fortunately the referee could go to review the yellow card decision and overturn it.
OK, well, let's look at the what we thought might be the winning goal. There was icing on the cake afterwards, but Julian Alvarez stepped up with a classic, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, second half, extra time. This is a great finish. Switzerland just don't get out and close it down. But it's a great effort, isn't it? Great strike. Whips his right foot around it. Top corner. Nothing Coble could do in the goal. And probably for me, definitely goal of the tournament. So far, I'm not sure what Kenny thinks, but there's nothing the keeper can do about that.
Oh, technique.
No, wonderful technique. He has ability, this kid, there's no doubt about it, but it hasn't been a good tournament for him, Tony. He's done little or nothing up until this point, but when his team needed him, he stepped up. And we spoke about Messi previously, saying he needs help on the football pitch. You know what I mean? They can't be totally dependent on him, and give credit to him, Alvarez. He took responsibility at that moment in the game, and that was the decisive moment. That won the game for Argentina.
And thankfully it meant that we weren't going to go to penalties, and then there was a bit of icing on the cake right at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a counter-attacking moment, wasn't it? Xhaka gives the ball away, drive forward. It's Almada driving into the space, cuts inside, gets the shot away, and who's there? Martinez to put it into the back of the net. And this is a positive as well, that they're not relying on Messi to come up with the goods all the time. It's different players involved, and I think the team and the group will take confidence from that.
So Messi for the England game, will he be the hero, or will he continue his decline as far as you're concerned, Kenny?
No, it's not about Messi, this game against England. It's about the whole Argentinian team. They're just not good enough, Tony. I can't see how they can beat this English team. You never know on the day. I understand this English team hasn't been at their best. They've been stumbling a little bit through the games. If they can find anywhere near their best form, England, I think they're going to run this Argentina team ragged. I really do.
By your logic, then, it's two bad teams who may have an off day next Wednesday.
No, I think there's more to come from England, and I think they'll tap into that. I think they'll get better. They've been kind of grown into the competition. England, I don't think England have to be at their best to beat this Argentina team. That was awful from Argentina this evening. You can't get away from that, Tony. Most of the facets of their game today didn't function. Out possession, they looked open. They looked susceptible. I think they got problems in the full-back areas defending. I just think England have far too much for them in all aspects of the game. And Messi, might mention Messi to me. Is he going to be a factor in the game? Possibly, but not enough to the extent where he can take the game away from England on his own. He needs help, but I don't think he's got the help around him. He hasn't got the quality. Anya,
you've watched both games tonight. We had a long and wonderful night of football. How do you think Argentina-England will go?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think it'll be closer than Kenny thinks. I think, as we've seen Argentina throughout the tournament, they found a way to get a result. But I do agree. I think since the start of the tournament, we're saying that Messi is the main player. And you look at France and you look at Mbappe, but if Mbappe tracks players in, you have Doué, you have Dembele, you have all these people that can win the game as well.
You haven't mentioned Bellingham. He's the one for me. England have threats all over the pitch, kind of wide areas, but Bellingham is the one for me who's grabbed this tournament almost by the scruff of the neck, and he's driving this English team, Tony. And I don't think this. You talk about England dealing with Messi. I don't think Argentina can deal with a Bellingham threat.
A chat for another day.